All right. Welcome back. It's been an eventful last few weeks in this little adventure we've been on. You've sort of had the freedom to explore in one of several different directions. You were given the task of figuring out what the fuck happened in this town. Somebody went missing. A centaur who was supposed to be completing a delivery for Galantine Deliveries, Narala, and she's usually very reliable and very fast, but for some reason she was late by a few days. And with no word of something strange happening that would cause her to be late, unfortunately, Ilaria Galantine has assumed the worst. So, you all have explored around town, tried to figure out have any of these, or are any of these packages that were en route potentially dangerous? Were they things that people might want to steal? Or maybe things that could have gone wrong in transit? Who knows? And along the way, you've helped some people out with some random things, like massive living plant monsters that were inside one guy's house, or a barn fire that was happening caused by like a hellhound and several other wolves. There's clearly some sort of mischief going on in the town. There's way too much random negative stuff impacting way too many completely like unrelated people all across town. And you're all trying to get to the bottom of it. You did find out last time that, there was a hellhound, and as far as any of you know, you're pretty sure that a hellhound doesn't just appear, it has to be summoned. So someone clearly intentionally pulled this thing up from the hells in order to unleash it upon this area. But why? Who? And so you've continued up the Granary Road in order to hopefully find Narala somewhere along the way. And I believe that's where we left off pretty much, right? Because you took care of the stuff at that farm and then headed back up the road, or were you headed back to town? I can't remember.
I think we joined them for dinner, and that's where we left off.
Fair enough. So yes.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think you all had a good meal. It was like a midday meal. And then, yeah, I guess the choice is yours. Do you want to continue traveling down the road? Do you want to head back into town, look for more clues? What's your plan here?
How many more clues do y'all think we could find in town? We've talked to all of the potential recipients, right?
Yeah, I guess I was thinking we'd search along the route until we pick up some sign of her trail.
Yeah, we might want to keep out for eyes of other hellhounds as well, because there's someone doing mischief.
Indeed. So do you want to travel up the road carefully, keeping an eye out for them? Is that the plan?
That sounds like a good plan to me.
Yeah, I think so.
If everyone could give me perception checks, then you'll be traveling slowly in order to really watch your surroundings. Actually, one thing I'll bring up here, just because I think it's somewhat relevant before too many of you get rolling here. One interesting thing I noticed you can do for these kinds of situations is you don't actually have to roll perception every time. If you want to literally just be looking out for anything, right? Perception could be good, but you could say, I want to use nature to look for anything that's out of place, or I want to use whatever, like, if you have a different kind of skill you would prefer to roll. Or if some of you don't care to move and watch out for things, do you want to move stealthily instead? Like you're moving at the right pace to move stealthily? That kind of thing. So I don't want to lock you all into the same action just because I said it. But yes, whatever you all want to do, feel free to change up your skills.
I'll do nature. I'm good at nature.
Sure thing. You'll watch out for like disturbances in the nature around you.
Can I use occultism? Would that Would summoning from hell fall under occultism or arcana?
I believe that was religion or arcana. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what occultism is actually super used for. I do remember the Hellhound being like more specifically religion and stuff though, but
I guess, can I use arcana to keep an eye out for any traces of dark magic or magic use?
sure.
There we go.
All right. So we got Ashay's got Arcana, Ogden is being sneaky, Jib is perceiving, and Aela is naturing. All right. So you move through this long forest road a bit slowly and carefully, sneaking alongside in the shadows. Some of you looking for anything out of place, whether magical or natural, and some of you just looking for anything that might move or might not blend in with its surroundings very well. And it takes you a few hours. Headed north along this road, up deep into the forest, and light is starting to get dim. But you push on just a little bit. It's starting to get, maybe 6, 7 p.m. Like, it's not quite sunset yet at this time of year, but it's starting to go down. Just about there. And it might be a good time to turn around or camp or something like that. Start thinking that. All of a sudden, you notice up ahead of you, just around a bend, is what appears to be a statue standing in the middle of the road. Statue of a horse, maybe? And so you move up closer to see what it might actually be. From a distance, it's hard to tell. It's in the shadow under a tree, and it looks like it's been broken up quite a bit. Missing a lot of chunks of it. There's stone scattered all over the floor around it. The ground, I guess. The floor of the forest.
Out of character.
Yes.
Basilisks?
Mm.
Maybe?
I think that's a good guess, but I don't like that guess.
Same?
All right, so you see this thing in the distance. You move up a little closer until you can tell, like, this does appear to be the shape of a horse. Do you guys want to approach it any further? What's your plan here?
Does it look like it might be a centaur?
It's really kind of hard to tell because it's so smashed up. It definitely has 4 legs and it's like the size of a horse. But it's like it's not even a complete shape of a horse. Like its flank and haunches have been like completely crumbled away and just its large chunks of itself in different places. Like most of what used to be its underbelly is just completely gone. Anywhere from like the front half of it is completely shattered and broken away.
Jim is just gonna run up.
I know I'm sneaking right now. Do I hear any rustling in the bushes, or is that not possible to do both?
It's not possible to do both, so you would have to give up on your sneaking, but you could do that if you want.
I will keep sneaking.
Okay. If you really get deep into the sneak like skill, I think there's a feat you can take so that you can do both at once. But for now, that's all you got. It takes all of your attention to really, not step on branches and things like that. Stick to the shadows. So Jib, you said you're running up, right?
Yeah, up to the statue.
Can I take a quick peek for traps or ambush?
Sure, yeah. If you want to switch off of Arcana onto Perception, that's fine.
Okay. I did roll perception a while ago, but
Yeah, I
didn't
can take that one.
use it for anything, so.
I'll read that one. That works for me. So, Jib, you run up ahead, see the statue, and it is a large horse statue. And you can see the things scattered all around. And before you get too much of a closer look at it, just out of the corner of your eye, you see a tiny bit of movement in the brush behind you, and you spin to face it. So we'll be entering initiative.
Woo!
Boop.
So
I
that's
like how
perception
someone
roll
had-
because my initiative, right?
Yes.
Cool.
I like how someone had the exact same reaction to combat that I did.
Uh,
Ba, 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 ba.
who did I not get in the tracker? Oh, Jib did not get in the tracker. Here we go. All right. Now apply everyone's rolls. Shay used the perception check. Don't know why. I don't know why these things won't give me the button that usually lets me apply stuff, but oh well. I'll just manually enter it. Jib, your initiative was a 24.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ogden, your initiative was a 25.
Ooh.
Very sneaky.
Oh shit.
Ayala, your initiative was a 22.
Ooh.
And Ashay, unfortunately, your initiative was only a 13. Unlucky.
Sounds about
Oh,
right.
I was so ready for you to hit me with the 21.
Yeah, that would have been awesome, but unfortunately not. So, Ogden, you did sneak up on this threat, and so you would go first. However, much like the last big encounter we got, or I guess 2 encounters ago, when Ayala went first but didn't know there was a threat yet, you might have to delay your turn until Jim points out the threat. But you'll still be very high in the initiative order, and this does count as you entering initiative with stealth, so that's good. Right, so let's get into it. Jib, you see popping out of the trees as you meet eyes with it just for a second, this large sort of oh, that did not work how I thought it would. There we go. This large, almost reptilian type thing that has dark gray skin and these nasty fangs that bring up this art. Long
I
red
hate that.
ridge down its back and a red spiky tail. It looks absolutely vicious, and you just see those green eyes peering out through a couple of leaves, and its tongue just gently flicking underneath them. It hasn't moved to strike yet, but you can see it's waiting for the right opportunity, and you've got a leg up here. So, Ogden, can I assume you delay your turn?
Yep, since I don't notice anything, I will delay my turn.
All right, so Jib, you have the first action here. What do you do? Oh, I don't know if it got revealed on the map, but it's right here.
We are not on the map.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a map?
Boom! Now there's a map.
I
This
was
will
like,
load in
theater
a
of the
second.
mind. Let's go.
Theater of the mind. Woo! I think it's under some brush right now. Let's see, but it's right here. It's because of the
I cannot see it.
If you mouse over it, it shows up.
Oh
yeah, it's
True,
like
true.
under a canopy right now. Like if I pull it out, if I pull a token out, it would. Oh, I know why. Like if I pull it out from under the leaves, it would show up. But when you're not under the leaves, it doesn't. Here, I'll just
That's
put it right
fine.
here for now to show it's partially obscured by the leaves.
What are you? Just start hitting it.
All right. So you used one stride, and then you gorilla stance, and then you smack it.
Bad lizard.
Excellent. That is a hit.
Oh, I used the wrong thing. I'm just rolling this to get the damage done.
Oh, sure.
There we go.
Nice. Boom. So you run up to it and just punch it with your big gorilla fists, and it does kind of reel back for a second, and Mechanically here, I'm going to bend the mechanics a little bit, because technically I should have done this at the start of your turn, but I thought it would be more fun to let you have your turn here. Can you please give me a fortitude save as you approach it and it just glares at you, its eyes flash bright green for a second.
Nice.
All right, that is a pass. So you feel this this magic like sort of pierce into your mind and start to slow you down. You can feel your body starting to feel like it's moving through molasses in the air, like you're in a dream and you can't quite run right, you can't quite move right, but you just shake it off. You enter your gorilla stance, and it has no effect. Ogden, would you like to place your turn here?
Yes.
Boom. It is your turn.
It makes me feel funny.
And since I was sneaking, would I be like somewhere in the underbrush?
Sure, we can put you like over here, if that works for you.
Yeah.
Also, Ayla, I think your gate should be closed.
Yes, it should, because I have
Okay.
not gone yet.
There we
I keep
go.
forgetting to turn it off. After
I know, that's a tricky one.
Okay. How does moving in the underbrush work?
Is it not letting you?
Well, I want to move here, but it's not letting me.
Oh, yeah, some spots are... Here, let me just... Alright, there you go. You should be able to move now.
Okay.
Oh,
it's
This map was designed to only let you stay on the road, but that's lame, so you can go off the road.
Alright, I guess I need to use 2 strides in order to get up to it, which is kind of a bummer.
Ah, classic.
But I will move up to it. Actually, since I'm going to do 2 strides, I'm going to get behind it, so it's off guard.
Okay.
And
indeed, flank.
then... I mean, it was off guard for me anyways, because of my,
True.
surprise attack. And I'm going to swing at it. Oh,
A miss, unfortunately. Those 2 strides and a strike, right?
Yep.
Alright. It is its turn. As you rush up behind it and you just barely miss it with your weapon, you finally reveal your presence to it. As you were sneaking up to it very quickly, it spins around and you see those same piercing green eyes flash with color and light onto you, Ogden. I need you to make a fortitude saving throw. Alright, once again, you feel that same feeling like you're being slowed down, but you just push through it, and eventually, with enough strength, enough force of will, and your own body just shaking off this effect, you're fine. And it snaps again as this thing's eyes have to shut. It feels like it can't hold its gaze on you for too long. It has to blink. You're free. It's then going to spin back around and make a jaw strike against Jib. This Jib attacked first. It is a 21 to hit.
Double hit.
All right. That is 11 points of piercing damage as it just bites down, probably on the fist you most recently hit it with. Just Teeth pierce your flesh, but it is its turn complete. Ayla.
Alright. Action 1. Kinetic Gate. Whoop. As part of that action, I'm gonna do some lightning, or electricity, to attempt to blast. 16 to hit.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
Alright. And then I'll use my second and third actions to 4 winds. And I'll target all of us.
Ogden and Jib are both out of the 30-foot range. They're
Not
35 feet
after
apart.
I use my impulse to travel 10 feet towards them first.
Ah, there you go. That'll work.
Because I can do that before or after the thingy, which is really convenient in situations like this.
Very.
All right. So how far can I move?
Half your movement.
I don't think I will move.
Okay, 15.
I don't think I will either.
Unless we just like spin around it.
Ooh, that would be fun. I'm down.
Swap places.
I'm down.
Let's go. This thing is very
Love it.
confused and gets a little dizzy as it spins around.
And then that's all my actions.
All right. You know, just because it's fun, Jib and Ogden, let's see. Give me performance checks.
Love it.
Oh. Are
Just
they
because it's
secret?
fun. Not secret.
I'm not good at performing.
Oh, unfortunate. I set a DC of 10 to see if either of you would meet it. Unfortunate. But so you spin around and it for a second it looks like it's spinning around a little too much to keep up with you, but it manages to like lock on and figure things out. All right. So, Ayala, I think that was 3 actions, right?
Yes, it was.
Ashay.
All right. 1 sec. I'm gonna cast Fear on this guy.
Excellent. Okay, so a will save. It fails. So it is frightened 2. Let me double
Alright.
check. It's not like immune to frightened or anything. It is not. Okay, good. So yeah, how do you make it so afraid? Just like, do you have a fun description?
I summon a little bit of my divine powers, so my eyes and the inside of my mouth flash red, and I exhale a little bit of extra smoke and just kind of pull a scary face at it.
Excellent. And this is
And
a
kinda
creature. Yes, go ahead.
Sort of lunge in its direction a little bit aggressively.
Yeah, and this is a creature that uses flashes of color from its eyes to great effect. So seeing color come from your eyes brightly and it not knowing what that color means definitely intimidates the fuck out of it. Anything else on your turn?
I'm gonna cast. Let's see. I'm gonna cast Guidance on Ogden.
Boom. Boom. All right. So at the end of your turn, the start of the next round, it is going to take a reaction at the start of Jib's turn to force Jib into a Fortitude saving throw, please. All right.
Nice.
Once again, you shake off that weird sluggish feeling, and it is now your turn.
I'm just gonna start swinging.
Thanks to the Frighten, that is a hit.
Awesome.
Bonk. A little bit of damage. Not a hit, unfortunately.
Oh, did that include the flat foot? Or not flat foot, but I haven't-
From flanking,
On
it
the
did
band.
include that, yes.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you
Alright,
for
one more
double
try.
checking, but yes, even with the flat-footed, that is a miss.
Woo!
Ooh, natural 20. Let's go. So that is a crit, because that would have been a natural hit even with the score on there. So yes.
Hell yeah.
Thanks once again to both frightened and flanking. That is a crit instead of just a normal hit. Either of those two missing, it would just be a normal hit.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
Holy shit.
Ow.
Holy shit.
So, Jib, you can see this thing for just a moment. Your antics with trying to make it dizzy failed, but for just a moment, it cowered. It hesitated when it saw Ashay's frightening gaze over it. And while its attention was drawn by Ashay, you hit it once in the leg, so it got lower, and then just wham down on its head. Like you feel a slight cracking as its head hits the ground. But it still picks itself back up. It's still good to go. Is that all three of your actions? I think so, right?
Yeah, that was my third. I used all three to attack.
All right, Ogden, you're up. You do not need to make a saving throw.
Oh,
It can only do one reaction per round.
okay. Well, I'm going to attack it.
All right,
There's a spark blade hit, which is a miss.
it's a miss, unfortunately.
Here is an exacting smoking sword, which is a critical hit.
Yeah, that's an absolute crit.
And,
It doesn't get much more crit than that.
That is 16 damage.
Sheesh.
And then I'm going to use Spark Blade with Guidance. And that's a 23 to hit.
Woo, nice.
And
You used an exacting strike for the second one, is that right?
yeah,
Okay, just double checking. That does make sense. Awesome.
I did. Are you okay with using an exacting strike and then using it on a second weapon?
Yeah, that's fine. The only
Okay.
the only difference with exacting strike is it has to be your second attack, basically. So that makes sense. Yeah, works for me.
And then there's 7 more damage.
Nice. All right.
And that is my turn.
Yes, very good, very good. So it is now its turn. I think this poor creature is so intimidated by Ashay that it is going to attempt its gaze on Ashay. Give me a fortitude save, please. It's currently panicking and trying to back away from you and like doing anything it can to avoid that source of its fear.
Oh, that was blind. Can you reveal that?
Yes. Boop. Let me double check. Yeah. Okay, yes. Thanks to the frightened condition it has, that is a success. So you, again, feel that sluggish feeling that you saw the others mention, and they kind of winced for a little bit as they moved slowly, but you push through it, and you're totally fine. I think this thing is now going to attempt to chomp down on Ogden, since Ogden hit it so recently. No, you know what? Jib did. This is tough. Hold on. Both of you crit it for a lot of damage. All right, it's gonna hit Ogden, or attempt to at least. There's a 28 to hit Ogden, including
Yes.
with frightened. Okay, is it a crit? I don't think so.
No.
Right? Okay.
I have a 20 AC.
All right, so a normal hit. 15 piercing. Chomps onto your arm. And then it is Ayala's turn.
All right. Can I make an attempt to demoralize it?
You can.
All right.
I am curious about this, though. because I don't think you can increase the count of the frightened condition on it, so I don't know if it would
Okay.
do anything, if that makes sense.
Well then, I guess not.
Yeah, you have to start with a high stack of something rather than like stacking it up. Some conditions do specify they can be stacked, like I think things like stunned you can continue to stack up or something like that, but yeah, frightened, you have to start with a high number and just stick with it.
Alright. Well, I
like your thought though.
Thank you. I'll use a 2-action Elemental Blast.
Alright.
So
So
target is 20 to hit.
20 to hit is indeed a hit. Thanks to, wait a minute, I'm sorry. It's not flanked to you, it's flanked to Jib and Ogden, so that is not a hit.
Okay. Well,
I forgot to reduce its frightened condition by 1 at the end of its turn when you rolled, so its AC went up by 1. So you just barely missed.
I'll try again, but with 1 action.
Okie doke.
That'll miss.
Unfortunately, another miss. Lachey!
I'll pass.
Alright, I'm gonna cast Produce Flame and target the guy.
Alright. Miss, unfortunately.
Can you make it public? Sorry, I default to blind so that I don't
No worries.
accidentally public roll things.
Miss, unfortunately.
Okay. Then I'm gonna cast Guidance on Jib.
Sweet.
Boop. Boop. Alright. Speaking of, Jib, it's your turn. And at the start of your turn, Fortitude save, please.
I thought it just used it on a Shay.
It's got an action it can take on its turn, and it has a reaction it can use that are separate.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you
Yes.
said it was going to use its reaction on a Shay.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're both pretty much the same, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it has a reaction and an action that both do the same thing, so that or technically it takes 2 actions, so that it can't do it multiple times in a turn, but yeah. It's really been trying to get this off, and finally it hits somebody with it. So Jib, you become slowed 1. Which means you get 1 less action. You're down to 2 actions. For this turn.
Oh, so it's like unhaste.
You can feel yourself becoming more and more sluggish. Yeah, it's unhaste, exactly.
And if it uses it,
My
it
turn?
uses it too.
It is Jib's turn, yes.
Now I can only smack you 2 times.
Yes. That's a hit. Bonk.
Don't forget to use your guidance.
Oh, true.
Ooh. Thanks to the guidance, that's a hit. It would not have been without it.
Sweet.
Ooh, nice. A little more damage in there. Very good. It is not
that's
looking
it.
good at this point. It is kind of sluggish and moving along the ground and limping. You've definitely broken like one of its legs, and it's still standing. But the
Aw.
thing looks like feral. It is not trying to flee. It is still trying to just lash out with violence at all of you. Ogden, it's your turn.
Well, I will lash out in violence as well.
Absolutely. Ooh, that is a hit.
There is 13 damage.
Almost a crit, but not quite. Go ahead and describe how you take this thing out, Ogden.
I feel like with it lashing out and trying to bite, I would probably just stab right into its mouth.
All right, yeah, it lashes
Aw.
out. You stick the sword down there, and a bunch of steam and smoke bellows out as the thing basically chokes to death and half like bleeds to death, and then kind of wriggles on the floor. Is no more, and you all are out of combat with a reward of 80 XP.
Woo.
So that would be 357.
Probably.
That's what I've got.
Cool. I always want to double check my math.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely same.
What's the number that was at right now?
357. All right, so if I were to recall knowledge on this thing, what would I try to roll?
What would you try to roll? What kind of?
Probably
Yeah,
nature.
sure. Give me a nature roll.
Blind GM roll.
And while Ogden is doing that, I'm going to go up and start patching him up.
All right. Does Ogden just? Ooh, very nice. A
I
crit.
can't see it. I forgot.
It was a crit thanks to the +1 healer's tools. Exactly, which becomes a bunch of healing.
All right. Ogden. Yep. There you go.
That's me full health. Thank you.
All right. And then I'm going to. Well, I guess I have to wait an hour before I can do it again, right?
At least on Ogden, you can target other people. Is the
Okay.
patient that becomes immune to it.
All right. I'm heading over to Jib.
All right. So while you work on that for the 10 minutes or whatever, Ogden, you're looking over this creature, and you
Whoa.
recognize this as a rock lizard. It eats rocks, so it's very strange that it was trying to eat you, but it might explain why pieces of the statue are missing.
It's a rock lizard.
I think Ogden learned that, but yes, maybe you call it out too. I like that.
So
Alright.
it turns people into rocks?
Yeah, and then it eats the rocks.
I
Well,
look
do
at
we-
Ogden for confirmation.
I don't know if it turns people into rocks, but I at least know that it eats rocks, which would explain why some of the statue is missing, because it probably happened upon it, but the
Hey.
fact that the two are near each other, probably not a coincidence.
Jib, you get 22 points of healing.
Thank you.
Yeah, Shay is getting quite used to treating these bite wounds that you're seeing frequently now.
I've stopped injuring people with my healing and started actually healing them.
What a difference experience makes.
Ashe is just over here like, stop biting my party, please.
My experience, I need to not get one shot because it's happened 3 times.
Yeah, hey, when high level creatures hit and they hit hard and then they crit, it can be bad.
Yeah.
I'm no longer slowed, right?
Yeah, it lasted a minute, so it should be gone by now.
Cool.
So you did feel a bit funny for a minute while Ashe was tending to Ogden, but it eventually passed.
Well, I guess after finding out that it is a rock lizard and not getting any information on this being the thing that would turn it, I would probably go check the statue out.
Right. So now that you've gotten a little closer and there's no longer a mortal threat nearby, you can see that there are some bits of the statue still left around, and you see what looks like a part of a human face that is quite like angry in expression, lying on the ground nearby. Maybe part of a head, part of a torso, and you piece together this probably is a statue of a centaur after all. I know the map shows that already, but now you as characters also can see that.
So we don't get the impression that this was a actual centaur that was turned into that was petrified.
You could give me a nature check.
Exactly the impression we get.
It is the impression Ogden got.
Oh,
Yeah, we're looking for a centaur who went missing. We found a centaur statue.
yes.
Really
All right.
detailed centaur statue.
Yeah,
I'm going to.
Looks like a statue to you.
I'm going to roll a secret perception check to try and figure out which direction the centaur was heading, and if it was like, was it coming from? Is it Absalom?
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. You're
Or
looking
if it was
around.
like trying to run away from something.
Well, do statues typically move? Yeah, no, it is faced north towards Absalom. It's hard to tell too much else in the area. You do, however, with a very high perception check, I will say, you notice that there is a satchel buried under some of the rubble, empty.
Hmm.
Can
So-
somebody who's better at noticing than me check and see if it smells of the healer's herbs or whatever?
I could try that.
So I don't notice any footsteps, or if there were, they've been covered up.
Yeah, you don't notice anything recent. It's possibly been multiple days, but since anyone's traveled this road.
Okay. And I would hand the bag to Ayla.
It's real sniffing hours.
Yes.
What should I roll to sniff?
You could give me nature, I guess, if you're trying to identify the herbs.
All right.
that could have been inside. Yeah, so you take a sniff inside, and it definitely smells very distinctly herby inside the satchel. You definitely recognize the smell of several different herbs you would use to make, healing balms and healing potions and things like that. So yeah, you think this is probably the satchel that was carrying some of those things.
So that means even though she's faced north, she did get to Absalom to get the things and was on her way back.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to see if she was running away from something, but it's been so long that I can't really tell. But given the facts, that makes sense.
You do actually notice something else, Ogden, while you look around the area. You were focused so much on the road at first, but you eventually turned your attention to the surrounding area, perhaps when you turned back to hand the bag over and await Ayala's verdict. You look to this little gap in the woods over here. You do see just a couple, there's like a spot right here that's muddy, right on the edge of the road. And you do see a couple distinct, very small footprints.
And they lead into the woods.
They lead from the road into the woods to the south, yes.
All right, I will point these out to the party then. And start going into the woods, I guess.
Into the woods. And out of the woods and into the woods.
All right.
Sorry, anyone else musical? Or-
I thought it too.
Absolutely. You see a bunch of creatures who haven't noticed you yet, or are currently bickering, which is why they haven't noticed you. They look to be kobolds, which you recognize because you've dealt with kobolds recently. They are struggling over some various little things, some baggies with knots in them, and their little fingers, they're not good at untying knots, and they keep pulling on him and making him tighter, and then smacking each other and saying like, "No, I'll do it. You can't do it," and then that kind of stuff, and not making any progress. And they're just kind of pulling him back and forth and tugging on the bags, and yeah. But they haven't noticed you yet.
Okay. I am the only one that's noticed it so far.
I think Ishay has also seen them at this point. I assume when you both get up around this corner here, you kind of hush and just stay still. I won't require a stealth check unless you want to move any closer, but for now, they just haven't noticed you.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably at least redraw my 2 weapons.
Sure.
I don't know how this works. Can I try casting Bane on them?
That would definitely enter us into initiative, but you could. Once you have the intention of a hostile action, we just enter initiative, and then we see when your action takes place in the order.
Okay,
They'll
so
probably be
it's not like you can
surprised.
do a
But,
surprise round.
they probably wouldn't notice you until your turn. It would be a whole thing. I'd definitely make you roll stealth for initiative, but yeah, it's an option, but you wouldn't get like necessarily a completely free round or anything. They could roll high perception or something. Yeah.
I would scoot back and then motion for Jib and Ayla, like there's stuff in here.
I
Yeah,
will sneak over.
yeah, I would draw my weapons and start being sneaky because I don't know if Jib will just run in.
Jib just starts walking out.
You got completely cut off by Discord, but I like that it was just peaked. Like, it's just way too loud. It's great. So yeah. So Jib makes a bunch of noise. Ogden, you can roll stealth if you want to jump into the bushes or something. Oh, okay. So you, we'll say you wait for Jib. I'll just reveal this because it's funny. I think it makes
Is it
sense.
that one?
Yeah. So Jib runs up and yells, and you kind of get startled while you jump into the bushes, and you just like trip and like fall into the bushes very loudly and break a branch under you, and it kind of knocks the wind out of you just a little bit. And the combination of that loud branch breaking and Jib shouting has drawn the attention of these kobolds. Saying, "Ah, who's there? Who's there? Show yourselves! Come on out! Ah.
You show yourselves.
Who are you?
We're right here. We are showing ourselves." You first. We asked first.
Are you friends with the lot?
Sorry, what?
We asked first. Who are you?
We are the slayers of the rock lizard. Are you friends with the rock lizard?
Rock lizard. What's a rock lizard? They look at each other, puzzled, back and forth.
It's a lizard that eats rocks.
I see. I see. They nod wisely to each other. Oh, rock lizard. Oh, was that that big thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Fight with
We
my
snuck by
people.
it. We didn't want to fight it. It was too big. You fought that?
Yeah, I beat its head.
Oh.
He stabbed it.
Well, you answered who you are. The slayers of the rock lizard. I am Brark. This is Trek. This is Grek. Don't come any closer. I'll magic you. You can see the one
Can
that
I
is
use
speaking.
sense motive?
Sure, the one that's speaking has a staff in his hand rather than like traditional kobolds, like little knives and crossbows and things. Ears.
Jib just goes,
If you magic me, they'll magic you harder.
pointing at Ashay and Ayla.
Shay, you find this kobold fairly hard to read. He does have a staff. You've never seen a kobold use magic, but you saw that one kobold use magic down in the basement, the dungeon under Otari. So like, it's possible. So he could be telling the truth.
What sort of magic would you do? Or do you do?
Not the pleasant kind. No card tricks. No balls and cups.
So I think you might have the thing that we've been sent to come get.
Hmm.
Did you dig around in the satchel near the horse statue?
Yes, that's why we have all these things. I see. So we have something you want. Blarg is very smart. Blarg knows negotiation.
Mm-hmm.
The other
And
kobolds
I
just
will-
nod.
Produce flame in my hand just to show it off.
He produces electricity in his hand.
Cool trick.
Oh, hey, I could do that one too.
I will magic you.
Oh, I just like playing with fire.
That's not something that people normally admit.
Listen, we don't have to solve this with violence. Barter, trade, yes?
What do you want?
Something... something worth 20 gold pieces, or just 20 gold pieces. That is what this is worth to Blarg. Tiny gold.
What is it worth in reality?
What is what worth in reality?
The stuff that she was carrying.
So at the very least that the postage for these items was 5 gold pieces each. So you'd imagine they wouldn't make these orders unless they were more expensive than the postage, probably. But
Do I use the same sense motive or a different one if I'm trying to figure out if he's bartering in good faith?
yeah, you can roll a new one. Yeah, he doesn't really seem to know what they have there. It doesn't seem like they've opened any of the pouches. They've been trying to untie the knots in them, but they just can't figure it out for whatever reason. Maybe they're tied too tightly, or they've already unfortunately pulled the knots way too tight by trying to untie them wrong, something like that. And so he's trying, you can tell he's kind of trying to just get rid of these things that have become a little bit troublesome, a little bit more trouble than he thought, and trying to get some money out of it.
I'm gonna shrug and pull 20 gold pieces out of my pouch.
Yes.
Walk
Blarg.
forward. Hand it to him.
Master of negotiation, Blarg. Yes.
And he pulls the pouches out of his fellow kobold's hands. They kind of resist a little bit, and he smacks one on the head and pulls it out of his hand and walks up to you.
Here, even trade. Good business.
I'm actually gonna toss a copper to each of the little guys.
Aw.
Extra good business. Blarg is a master negotiator, an extra master, bestest negotiator of all time.
All right, I'll take everything back. Pleasure doing business with you, Blarg.
Pleasure doing business with you.
And the kobolds retreat up into the woods.
Are you guys okay splitting the cost of that? I kind of made an executive decision there.
Of course.
I'm fine covering it on my own, but if we could each pitch in 5.
Jib will toss out 5 gold.
All right. Cool.
You
So
all
And over 5 gold.
Ogden does the same.
you all get 80 XP for successful negotiation.
Oh, I don't have any gold on my feet.
Oopsie.
who doesn't
So
have
I do
gold?
not. I do not.
Okay. So I'm covering 10 gold and 2 copper.
Gib lives in the forest eating boars. He ain't need no gold.
All right. There we go.
And that also puts us at 437 is what I have.
I think that's right.
How much XP did you say we got?
80.
The kobolds were worth just as much as the lizard.
Yeah, but you got to talk your way through instead of violencing your way through.
Is
And it was all
Pathfinder
because
2E pay to win? We just spent 20 gold for 80 XP.
Right?
and it was all because I was really good at sneaking.
Mm-hmm.
For certain values, I'm really good at sneaking.
So now you've got these little baggies, these little like they're sort of rough fabric that have a they're tied closed so they can protect whatever's inside. Perhaps they're canvas or something, so they're a little waterproof, and you're able to pull these open and get at whatever's inside. Actually, I believe this requires a check to successfully untie them, thanks to the kobold's meddling.
Ooh.
If anyone
What
wants to
check
give
is it?
me a thievery check.
Ooh,
I will pass them over to Ogden because I am not good at thieving or dexterity in general.
this isn't secret, right? We know if we open it.
Yeah, this is normal check. Ooh, that is a critical success. So you very quickly just zoop, zoop, zoop. And instead of it taking a couple minutes each, like it says in the book, you take just a few seconds each as you find the one critical little string to pull in each knot, and it all just comes apart. You can open up the bags, and inside one, you find a bunch of very, very bright red, spicy looking peppers, a parcel of dried leaves, and 6 sword-shaped pins.
All right, I don't. I don't really trust the pins, but I don't know what to roll to look at them.
What would can I do diplomacy to see if or society, one of those, to see if it's like recognized, if it's like a secret society or something like that.
Sure, I think society would make sense. All right. You recognize these as gladiatorial honors from the Colosseum at Absalom, the Irorium. They represent victories.
What did Clort say he was getting, or did he?
Said an old friend that has not contacted him in years was sending something and he didn't know what it was.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really trust him.
Okay, well, I will share what I've learned. If any of you guys else want to take a look just to double check, go ahead.
All right, what would I roll to know if they're like awarded or if it's like unusual to have ones that you haven't earned?
Society, probably.
Society.
Society.
I'm not good at society since I live in the woods.
Yeah, you have no idea what the traditions of the the gladiators of Absalom are.
Do I have any idea?
You can roll
Absalom?
society. Recall knowledge, society. So your question was what specifically?
If I had any idea if
What the
um
traditions were behind these things?
yeah.
They are essentially victory trophies. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay.
They aren't marked with anyone's name or anything like that. They are just trophies.
And would it be common to like send them to someone else?
Um, as uncommon as any other trophy being sent in the mail would be, I suppose. It's
Okay,
you would gather that these are pins somebody would wear to display like how many victories they have. They're pins you would put on a shelf.
um,
Yeah, I just want to know if it's someone who went on a murdering spree and is sending the evidence away.
Oh,
no. Can I attempt a really weird sense motive adjacent check to like figure out if this is the person flexing or like if these are the recipients trophies that are just being like returned?
I think that would be another society check because there's no
Oh
person
god,
to read
fuck.
here.
Yeah.
If she brings it up, I'd like to make that check as well, just
Okay,
to
go for
double.
it. Ayala, you are absolutely certain that this is a major flex. Ashay, you are absolutely certain that this is not a major flex. That this is just weird. It's not usual to send 6 trophies randomly years after contacting someone. You might have to just go talk to Clor. Clor is what you think, Ashay. But Ayala's like, wow, somebody's really being mean about this.
Like, damn, they got all these trophies and now they're sending them away? Like,
Yeah.
dang.
Hey, Ayla,
Uh-huh.
it might be a flex if it was like academic achievement awards, but I think it might just be someone sending trophies in the mail.
Yeah, like Ashay, you probably recognize that like the most effective way to show off pins that you wear to show your victories would be to wear them and not to send them to somebody. I was like,
They've
Yeah.
been in
whoa.
contact for years.
So I would
They would go out to dinner and like
basically, I am as tactfully as possible reminding Ayla that she lives in a library.
I
and not
live in a
society.
library in Absalom most of the time. Give me some credit.
We live in Otari, not Absalom.
Yeah, but I'm from Absalom. That's where I go to school.
That's new to me, but did you ever go outside of the library?
No, I'm in wizard school. You have to study and stuff.
Yeah, so most people don't operate the way wizard school does. Hate to break it to you.
You sure?
Absolutely positive.
I don't know. That doesn't sound accurate. I'm sorry, but I mean, what else would there be?
Normal day-to-day work lives, apprenticeships, trainings, military academies.
Okay, that makes sense.
People whose lives revolve around social events and getting drunk with friends.
Well, I'm not good at the social side of stuff, but should we try to do something with the body just so that it's not here on the road?
How much do we think this thing weighs? The statue.
Oh, hundreds of pounds.
So you don't think we could like put it on a sled and bring it back?
If you had a real good sled or a wagon or something that you brought up here, possibly, but you don't have the means to carry it right now. No, unless one of you has a summon wagon spell or something. Or an
I don't
unfolding
know about a
wagon.
summon
Or
wagon spell, but I like the sound of it.
instant wagon, just add water.
I think we head back to Otari and
Are we closer to Otari or Absalom right now?
Otari, absolutely. You're like
Okay.
probably about 5 to 10% of the way to Absalom.
Oh, okay.
It looks like poor Narala made it almost all the way to town before having this unfortunate encounter.
yeah, I think we go back and see what happened and give clear directions as to where to find the statue, and her family can decide what's to be done about it.
That sounds like a good idea.
Can she be fixed?
I mean, even if there was an unpetrification spell, which I'm not sure if there is.
Is there an unpetrification spell, DM?
Roll me recall knowledge.
I rolled Arcana Recall Knowledge to see.
Yeah, neither of you are super familiar with magic that would help you with that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, so even if there is, we would have to piece her back together, and I don't believe that would be possible.
And the rock lizard ate some of her, so.
Yeah.
Well, the rock lizard's no longer alive, so that's less of a problem, right?
Well, we'd have to have a whole statue undigested in order to bring her back with all of her parts intact.
Roll me a
if that's
nature
even
check.
possible.
Or Arcana, Ashay.
I'm gonna do Arcana because I'm better at that.
All right. So you have a sudden realization. This thing that you've been calling a rock lizard, you're like, wait a minute, I do recognize this. I've seen this, and I don't know why it was on the tip of my tongue earlier, but this is a basilisk. And you do remember that those who have been petrified by basilisks, if their form is broken, they are effectively dead. You would need some sort of powerful spell that could revive somebody even days after they've died in order to bring Narala back.
Yeah, we'd need either a way to like magically recomplete her and bring her back, or a way to like truly resurrect a decomposed body. And by the way, Jib, I'm pretty sure that thing is a basilisk.
No, that's a rock lizard.
Well, it is a lizard, and its stare turns people into rocks.
Sounds
So
like
I
a
guess
rock lizard to me.
it's a good thing that we didn't spend too long in its gaze, because I think it might have slowed us down and then started turning us into rock if we stayed too close.
I think that started happening to me.
Yeah, well, we're lucky we killed it then.
Yeah.
So now that it's been called a basilisk, are those natural or are they summoned? Kind of like the hellhound.
Give me a Arcana or Nature check.
Nature.
Could I use my previously rolled Arcana check to
Sure.
see what I know about basilisks now that I know that it is one?
Yeah, Ogden doesn't know much about basilisks. After all, he did fully believe the rock lizard story. But Ashay, you're starting to piece together bits of information. This is just something you haven't needed to think about in years, so it's taking you time to recall every part of it. But they are creatures that are just born. They reproduce. Yeah, nobody knows, or well, maybe you just don't know exactly when they were first created. They're not necessarily, natural creatures that fit in with the rest of nature, but they now have sort of become an invasive natural species released on the world, roaming turning things into stone, eating things, eventually reproducing and dying.
Yeah. There are wives' tales about what kind of witchcraft with chicken's blood or something, but I think that's just scared talk
Hmm.
because people don't actually know. But no, they aren't summoned. They're just one of nature's accidents that turned out to survive really well.
Well, that's good. It doesn't seem to have a connection to the Hellhound. But not good for Narella.
No. How big is the basilisk?
It's I mean, it's a medium creature, so it's not terribly large. However, they are. This one was. You think they might get a little bit bigger when they're older, and this one might have been not quite fully grown yet. This one was about 7.5, 8 feet long.
Okay.
The fully grown one
Can
might
we
be.
take it back with us as a trophy?
It would be pretty heavy. I mean, it's kind of like alligator-like in proportions, but with a few of you doing that, I mean, it'd be a few hours walking. It'd be hard and slow, but you could.
Uh,
I mean, we could try the same thing wrapping it in my tent with rope.
we could do that. We could also just leave it here because it's only a couple hours back.
Yeah, maybe
Though it is getting dark, right?
It is, yeah, it is starting to get dark. Perhaps as part of that thought, you reach over and like try to pick up one of its limbs and just pull on it, and it's actually surprisingly dense. Despite the memes about rock lizards earlier, basilisks do eat petrified flesh, so basically rocks. And they get all of their nutrients from that, so they're basically just full of rocks, and they also weigh hundreds of pounds. An adult one weighing 300 to 400 pounds.
Well, let's just head back then.
Yeah. At least we can tell them that we took care of the basilisk, so the road should be mostly safe.
Yeah.
We also need to get Ayla back to Nocti.
Yes.
I also knocked you some fish.
All right. Well, let's just head back. We can tell them where to find everything in the morning.
All right.
All right. Back to Otari you go. I slowly fade the city map to night. You approach from the north, coming down the Granary Road, and after a few hours' walk, although I guess maybe you aren't going quite so cautiously this time as you were before, that's up to you all.
Probably not. At least for me, I'd be more in a hurry to get home.
Yeah, it's getting dark, it makes sense to move a little faster. So in maybe an hour and a half or so, you make your way back to Otari, down the slopes and past Galantine deliveries, where Ilaria Galantine is sitting, waiting in the door in the same spot she was before. She sees you all approach and rushes up to you. He says, I heard you left town. You went up to find Narella. How went the search? I didn't expect you back so soon, but I stayed up just in case.
Narella fell to a basilisk.
Oh,
Her statue is about an hour and a half up the road, moving quickly, along with the basilisk corpse. We found it and killed it.
she takes a slow step forward to the fence around the delivery area here and just leans up against it. Props her forehead in one of her hands.
I am gonna hold out like the 3 packages. We were able to retrieve these from some kobolds nearby.
Good, good. We'll do business in the morning. I really hoped it wouldn't have come to this. That's terrible. Well, thank you for letting me know, and thank you for finding her. You killed the bastard, did it to her?
I wish we could have found her alive, but looks like she'd been stoned. She was within, like I said, hour and a half of getting back when she turned to stone.
Of course. Well, can't stop random acts of nature, I suppose. But you killed it, yeah?
Yeah, its corpse will be right next to the statue.
Well, I'll send some lads up in the morning. Maybe I'll get in contact with... maybe I'll get in contact with, Carmen. She does not seem pleased at this prospect. Okay. Well...
Who's Carmen again?
He owns the smithy in town, Blades for Glades.
Ah.
He's the same guy who got men for getting the dragon up and out of the place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you again.
I'm so sorry we couldn't have brought better news.
I should have been more active in figuring this out. It took me several days to even tell anybody there was a problem. It's not your fault. I'm gonna go lay down. Talk to you all in the morning.
Do you want us to deliver the packages tomorrow?
Yes, if you would be so kind, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you.
We can do that.
Very well. Swing by whenever you're ready to talk, whether that be in the morning or after you've finished your other deliveries. Oh, before I forget, she heads inside and opens the door. Nocti comes scooting out to meet you all.
Hi, Nocti. How was your delivery job?
Wow.
Aw. Ilaria closes the door behind her. You are left on the streets of Otari.
Alright, do you guys think the fishery is going to be open tonight? Is it a party night?
Probably another couple days until party night.
We could always go see Rin's Wonders to get our fortune told.
I was just thinking about getting a fish for Nocti and getting a drink at the same time.
It's not so late that most of the taverns are closed. They're all probably still running. It's, just a little after sundown. There's plenty of places for that, at least.
Could we stop by the fishery and then go back to our apartment for the night?
That could work.
I could rent a room, put us all up.
Indeed. We'll say, just to scoot things along a little bit, you head to the fishery, you get Nocti a little extra fish, which, it's not a party night there, but I think Tamily is a big fan of Noctis, so we'll easily just get you a fish. Because of course, the one condition being that she gets to be there when you give Nocti the fish to see Nocti's joy at receiving the fish, of course. I'm sure Nocti is very happy to be paid for their hard day's work, delivering many different letters around town. And then you all head back to your apartment.
Funny enough, Nocti is also a big fan of Tamily. Tamily is the one who catches the fish.
True, that makes sense. It always smells like fish.
Did Nocti have to deliver any letters to Tamily today?
Probably. That would make sense. Nocti probably meows at Tamley so expectantly that you feel like Tamley has been feeding her fish just generally.
Oh.
Nocti's just used to it. He just associates being fed fish with seeing Tamley.
All right, and then I guess we go to the Rowdy Rockfish to sleep for the night.
Makes sense to me. Do you all have any conversation before you head to bed?
Once we're done delivering the packages, do you guys want to go back out to that farm and see if we can figure out what's going on with the hellhound?
I think
Yeah.
that's probably a good idea.
As much as it doesn't seem good, but I think with Galantine knowing all the ins and outs and comings and goings of the town, might not hurt to ask them if any of their delivery people have seen any oddities.
Yeah, and who was it that had an extra job for us?
The bird, I don't remember their name. The one
Crow's
at the
Cask?
crow's cask.
Both
Magaloy, I
Magaloy,
think.
yeah, Magaloy had a potential job for you, exactly.
Okay, so we can talk to Magaloy about work when we drop off her package, and then see if that fits timeline-wise with checking out the Hellhound activity. And then we can go home, because, man, we just got a new home.
True. A few hours away, but yeah. For now, you've got a room at least. You're in town. And so you all peacefully fall asleep after quite a long day of walking around everywhere. You've essentially been sent all around, all over the place, to run a whole bunch of different errands. You got in a whole bunch of random combat you weren't expecting, but you
I
got
have
out
to
of
wash
it.
the blood off my collar again.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You gotta do that. Maybe stitch up parts of your clothes that got bit through, things like that. Um, patch up some places they got singed away, and so on and so forth. But you know, enough work that sleep hits you hard. So everyone can hit the good old rest button, and we'll wake up for the next morning.
I have all my spell slots again.
Let's go.
Same.
I guess I don't know if Jib actually needs anything from a rest, right? You're full health.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I didn't hit it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I actually need anything from it.
Yeah, you
I
don't
think I'm
really
at
have
full
like
health.
you don't have like key points or anything, right? So like,
Nope.
right, there you go. So
All right.
the morning is yours.
Stop by Crow's Cask. I think Ms. Galantine had a reward for us. We should probably check in on her. But stop by Magaloy's first.
All right.
I like that plan.
So you head up to Magaloy's. Once again, Magaloy actually it doesn't appear to be doing alchemy this time when you walk in. She appears to be cleaning out some of the glasses, and it looks like she just finished doing some alchemy early in the morning and is now making sure all of her equipment is tidy before she, moves on to other business of her normal customers coming in and such. Huh. Ah, welcome back. You have peppers?
I hand over the one with the peppers.
Ah, yes, yes. You, Oh, yes.
Turns around and pulls out a pouch and counts out 5 gold pieces and slides that over to you. Actually 10 gold pieces. I'm sorry, I miscounted. Go.
Would
Or
that go in the
delivery.
party stash?
Yes, feel free to add that there.
For you and with a tip, of course. Thank you for the delivery. Yes. As I mentioned, I have a job for you. You all seem very resourceful. And I need resources. There are copper cap mushrooms. You know them?
Do I?
Roll me a nature check
We'll
if you
roll
want
a
to.
nature check.
Yeah, want to see if you
Heck
know.
yeah, nature check.
Nature
Hopefully I
checks.
do, because I live in nature, but
Ogden has indeed heard of them. They are local to the area. They do grow a little bit out of town. There's like a patch of earth up north in the forest that grows them.
Yes.
As she realizes the recognition on Ogden's eyes.
Ah, yes, you know them. Any copper caps? Supply been low lately, hard to find. Becoming rare. It's, Slab Hill. You go to Slab Hill. You should find some. You bring those back. I will make you special drink out of peppers.
yes, I know where these mushrooms are. We can grab them for you. Are you looking for a timeline? Because we have something else that we're going to check out up there as well.
No rush.
How many mushrooms is many mushrooms?
How many can you carry?
Got it.
How many you find? Yes. As long as you find some, I give you spicy pepper drink.
It sounds like a deal.
Very good. Any other business?
I don't
Potions?
think so. We may stop back later, but for now I think we need to finish the deliveries.
Very good. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Etiquette question for DM. Are we meant to keep the 10 gold?
It was not discussed with Ilaria. You do know that these people were expected to pay for the delivery service upon receipt of their packages.
And that service is normally 5 gold, right?
It depends on the package, yeah.
Okay. So let's go up and talk to Ilaria.
Right. You head up there, and Ilaria has... she's got big bags under her eyes. She clearly did not sleep very well last night. Yes, good morning. Hi. She doesn't seem to relish the sunlight that she's now seeing as she opens the door.
Hi. What should we
Hi.
do with the delivery fee from Magaloi?
Oh, you know what? You all did such a good job with this. I really can't thank you enough. All of you just keep the fees. And
Okay.
oh, and here, round and one moment. Heads back into the building, and about a minute later comes back with a small sack of coins, which she jingles, and then also adds a few silver pieces in, clearly on top, like opens them and drops a few silver and silver. It says, payment for your services and a few coins for your very helpful cat.
Greatly appreciate.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
We'll make sure the
Thank you.
coins go to fish for the cat.
Of course. If your cat's ever looking for work again, little Nocti, you did great.
That's excellent to hear. Glad she was able to help out.
Yeah, it was a big help. Left me with more time to pace around. So, I'm gonna be going back inside now, but yeah, keep the change for whatever deliveries happen. That's all yours. Thank you again.
I did have a quick question for you, if you
Yeah.
are willing to answer.
Yeah, of course. She says yes, but like as she even says it, she seems to be wincing in pain and like holds a hand over her forehead. Yeah. What is that?
We ran into a kind of odd creature on the road, and I don't know if you have heard word from any of your other delivery personnel of other odd creatures.
Odd creatures. Oh, like the basilisk?
No, unnatural creatures.
Well, as I heard it, a basilisk was a snake egg that was sat on by a rooster or something like that. Doesn't sound natural to me. But I don't know. That's just an old tale. But what are you talking about specifically?
There's been some fire breathing type creatures.
Oh,
Have you heard anything about that?
no words made it through here.
All right.
We haven't had
Well,
any other deliveries come through in the past few days, so nobody's been up that road but you.
if you send anyone else out, tell them to be very cautious.
Good to know. Thank you. I think we'll slow down the business here for a little bit, just in general. I mean, we don't really have much of a choice, so.
We'll be checking out the fire-based disturbances on our own time as well.
Much appreciated.
Yes, and sorry to keep you.
Oh, that's all
And I
good.
hope things get better.
Thank you. And she'll give a weak smile and close the door.
All right, I guess we go drop off some herbs.
All right. So yeah, you head up to Abanye's place where you were previously. And oh god, these notes are so disorganized. Why? There we go. Okay, I apologize. You go up to Abanye's place. The unpleasant smell that was there yesterday is still faintly there, but Abanye has done a pretty good job of airing the place out so far. You can see all the windows are still open when you get there, and it's clearly been trying his best. But yeah, you get there and you see he has just finished brewing some tea as you arrive. Oh, goodness, come in. I would have made more if I knew you were going to be coming so soon. Welcome back. Any news?
Same tale. I'll let him know that the courier got killed by Basilisk, but we killed the Basilisk, and here's your package.
Oh, what a shame. Sorry to hear that. I appreciate getting the package, though. These herbs will be put to good use.
I would avoid the road to Absalom for a while.
Yes, that makes sense. You'll keep that in mind. I don't do much traveling out of town anyways, but, well, I'll be a little more careful in the woods anyways, especially after yesterday. Strange happenings. Nature
Hard to
suddenly
believe it's
turning
only
on
been a
us.
day.
Yes, that as well. Well, payment for your services, as required, of course. Puts his tea down on his little plate, rummages around in one of his cabinets, pulls out a sack, which he pulls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gold pieces out of, counts them up again, hands those over to you. And then out of one of his pockets pulls a feather. Also hands that over to you. It appears to be from some kind of very colorful, exotic bird. It is like the actual shaft of the feather appears to be like golden, and then it's got like these blue, bright blue, like whisks coming out of it to form the rest of the feather. Yeah, a tip for your services as well.
I appreciate it.
Are you able to add the 15 gold and the feather to the party fund? Because I don't think we can add gold.
Oh, really? That's weird. There we go.
I don't think we can actually do anything except move stuff from our own stash to the party fund.
Oh, interesting. Well, there we go. There's your token. The feather. This feather might come in handy. One-time use, of course, but well, it will summon a small sparrow. Can relay a message for you over a great distance.
That's really handy. Thank you.
Yeah, might come in. Oh, exactly. Might come in handy. Might be useful. I hope you find it so.
Thank you. Well, we've got one more delivery for the day, and then we've got to go check on some stuff. So let's say our farewells.
I won't keep you. Thank you again for the delivery. I'll put these to good use.
Of course. Happy to be of service. GM, did we... Is 18 gold including the reward from...
Oh, thank you. I did not add that. You're correct.
Okay.
The gold from the reward was 20, so that should be 38. And then it was 5 silver pieces for Nocti. Alright, so off to Hengus Court, I believe.
Yes.
Yep.
Or Clort Hengus. Hengus, Clort is where you're headed. So another about an hour travel back to town and across town to get over to the Giant's Wheel once again. And you find Clort as you approach, shouting over the loud noise of the wheel and pointing at some of his workers and like pointing at some of the logs and just directing things around. Not shouting angrily, but you know his voice is just very hoarse from all of that shouting. But he sees you arrive and pulls out like a handkerchief from one of his pockets and wipes his hands off a little bit, tucks it away, and then walks back over to you all. Yes, hello. Welcome back. I take it you found what you were looking for.
In a manner of speaking.
I see. I can tell it. Bad news.
The courier was killed and partially eaten by Basilisk when he found her.
Terrible business.
We killed the Basilisk because it tried to attack us. But here's your package.
Thank you. Still been wondering what it could be. 2 5 gold pieces, which I'll add to the party stash. 1 2 3 4 5. Thank you. I'm so sorry to hear about the courier. Terrible, terrible business. Let me see what this is though. I'm terribly curious. He pulls the string on the package and opens it up, looks inside. This was not what I expected. I didn't expect much, but this still surpassed expectations.
Are they yours?
Oh yes, many years ago. I'm from Absalom, and well, in a past life, manner of speaking, I was a gladiator. kind of gestures to himself vaguely. That's how I got all these scars. Huh. See, these were taken from me when I left. They don't just let gladiators go. My friend has been tracking down everyone that had my trophies. I'll have to thank him. Thank you, yes.
Of course, glad we could be of service and bring something back for you.
Yes, these are nostalgic, sentimental. Perhaps I'll make a frame for them. He's got like a awkward mix of emotions because he's obviously very sad hearing about the courier, but also this delivery was a happy thing. So he's like in a weird mood. But oh, before you go, as you maybe all prepare to leave, maybe your body weight shifts or you turn around, whatever. Before you go, you all seem quite good at this. I mean, you tracked this all down and looks up at the sky at the where the position of the sun is. Less than 24 hours. Very fast turnaround. I'd like to hire you for something if you're interested. I suppose I should explain first.
Sure.
I've noticed some scorching along the flume. Personally, I suspect arson. I don't see any reason for a natural fire to start up there and only scorch parts of a structure in the middle of the woods and nothing else. Thankfully, none of the fire has caught for very long. It's only scorching along the outsides of the wood, easily repaired and not much structural damage in the first place, but still, I'm worried someone will get better at it.
So I will unfurl my map of the island, and I'll have him mark the locations.
Yes, right here. This is the hot spot. They've been all around this area here, a few 100 feet apart each night.
Was it anywhere near the farms that we saw the hellhound at?
It is up north of town. It's not quite near the farms because the road and the flume kind of go off in slightly different directions, but it's about as far away from the town as the farm was. Yeah. It always has happened at night. I patrolled the flumes in the morning, and that's when I find the scorching. So I would suggest staking out at night in that area and try to catch whoever's doing it in the act. You find them, I'm willing to offer you quite a rare prize. Now you know about my gladiatorial days. I have an old magic hatchet that has seen quite a bit of use in the gladiatorial arena. It could be yours if you want it after you complete all this. A bit of an heirloom with a story to it, although I'm sure you could find use for an extra sharp blade.
We'll definitely look into it.
Thank you very much, and good luck. I don't know what's been doing this, but I am a bit worried. So thank you. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna go get back and get these boys working in order.
All right.
Hey, you! Now that goes over there! He just starts shouting as he turns around.
Alright, so once we're out of earshot, I will suggest to everyone, maybe we should go talk to... Oh god, I don't remember her name. The head of the farmers thing, because I know she said there were multiple farms targeted, so we can try to
Jala High
pinpoint
Stepper.
a location. Yeah.
Yeah, you could head back up there. Ability.
At least that would be my suggestion. I don't know what
Yeah.
everyone else feels.
I mean, we've got enough sleep. I'm good to head out wherever.
Makes sense to talk to her, I think.
Though Joanna, as a player, is very tired.
We are getting pretty close to wrapping up either way. We can handle that if it's okay. Handle that one conversation though, and then we'll be set for the
Yeah,
night.
of course.
Okay, so you take the about an hour trek out of town once again, heading up towards the farms. Find your way out there, and it takes you a little bit. It's probably part of the hour is just tracking down where Jala went, because you don't have the landmark of Jala was over talking to my neighbor and all that. You have to talk to Lavinia. You have to figure out like, oh yeah, Jala was here earlier, but I think she's over at Billy Bob's place down the road, and then all that. You go on a wild goose chase to a few different farms to figure out who saw Jala last, but you eventually track her down. And she's at a farm that's quite a bit out of the way of the other farms out there, which is part of why it took you so long. You do find her. Oh, yes. Hello. We met yesterday. Have you, found anything in only a day's time? If so, you're, well, quite impressive.
No, we completed all the deliveries that we were supposed to, and now we're investigating the fires more. And the owner of the Giant's Wheel asked us about it, so since there were multiple farms that had burned, we just wanted to talk to you and try to pinpoint and maybe find a central location for all the happenings.
I see.
As
Well,
as I open up my map.
well, no more farms have been burned since yesterday. I think we took care of that one. That wild dog with fire in its mouth was quite something. So either they're, I think you said something about it being a person that had to initiate that, right? Somebody had to summon it. Perhaps they need more time to summon a new one, or perhaps you really truly took care of it, but I'm not quite sure. That is quite puzzling, though. Do you know if the flume was hit last night?
I believe he said it was if
Did he
most
specify?
I don't think you guys asked.
we did not ask, but he said there have been multiple instances during the night of them being hit. So that's why we were just asking for a location of the farms that have been burned. Because maybe there's a central location.
Yeah, I can mark them all on your map. It's most every farm in the area, though. Doesn't really narrow it down, but yes, here, give me your map. I will marks. And so she does. And indeed, it is pretty much all the farms in the area, but maybe your map didn't have super precise locations of all of them. But yeah, so you find all up that road. They've had like minor fire damage here and there.
So there's no central location.
Give me some kind of check for that. I don't know what kind of check that would be. A central location check.
What is? Hold
Maybe
on, I have
survival?
one. Sense direction.
I believe that's for sensing the direction you're facing.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll do a
Navigating.
survival check.
Yeah, I think survival makes the most sense for this.
Survival check.
Yeah, they appear to be two separate clusters as far as you can tell. Like, there's that one hotspot on the flume where it keeps getting attacked in pretty much the same place. And then there's the whole cluster of farms where it doesn't seem like any farm is left out. It's like literally every farm, even the farms that are a little bit farther away than the others and things like that. It's just somebody is going around hitting all the farms.
I will kind of show the map to everyone else and maybe ask if they have any ideas.
Looks like that one spot in the flume would be a good place to start, and then we can start checking out the farms later when we have a little less time pressure.
Do you... Now, I know this sounds like
It's like a what?
a bad idea, but do you think it would be a good idea to let the firewolf attack the flume, and then after it finishes, just where it goes to see us to end it?
Well, I think we need to stake out the flume to make sure it's actually a hellhound.
Makes sense.
Because if it's been hitting every single farm and this one spot in the flume multiple times, that could be two separate incidents with two separate causes. I just figured since the flume one has been fairly consistent localized, we should start there because that seems like the easier option.
That makes sense.
But I'm open to suggestion. That was just first thoughts on my head.
I would go with going to the flume.
Yeah, so you were suggested to stake out the flume at night. You got most of the day remaining. It's probably a little before noon at this point.
Okay.
So
So,
you
we could
could-
maybe
Yeah.
talk to, like, interview a bunch of farmers and then head to the flume.
Sure. What questions do you want to ask the farmers? Because I don't want to roleplay every single farmer. We could just make a roll for it.
What I was thinking was asking them to describe the fire events and what was burned to see
Okay.
if there were any consistent threads.
I will probably, I don't know if you want me to roll a perception or a nature check for this, but I would be checking for wolf or hellhound tracks.
Okay. So you can give me a oh god, I'm forgetting which
Do I
check
make a
that is.
diplomacy?
Yeah, you can make me a diplomacy check. I guess this would be investigation diplomacy. Like the investigation activity with a diplomacy check.
Mm-hmm.
Ogden, you can give me a nature check, yes. So yeah, Ogden, at every farm that's been hit by fire, which is all of them at this point, you do find hellhound tracks, which are very similar to wolf tracks in a lot of ways, but you do see like scorch marks around some of them, some plants being burned away next to where they've stepped, things like that, and they also have much longer claws that dig deeper into the mud that you can identify. Not easy to tell apart, but you managed to do it. And Ashay...
I mean, I did see them up close and personal when I got knocked down.
Exactly. Now that you know what you're looking for, it's easier to identify. Ashay, you're asking just for a bunch of data from the farmers, like asking about, you know, how they recall events, that kind of thing. And you put together some of that data as like, these farms got hit on this night, those farms got hit on that night, that kind of thing. And every time a cluster of farms got hit in a night, they were all very close together. So like all of the neighbors in an area would get hit, and then all of the neighbors in another area would get hit, and so on. So it seems to you like this wasn't an effort by a whole bunch of different hellhounds hitting places simultaneously, but rather perhaps just that one hellhound running around and hitting as many as it could in a night and then moving on to the next night. So.
Okay.
Yeah, once we're on our own, I would mention that I saw hellhound tracks at all of the farms.
Presumably, we spent most of the day wandering from one farm to the next, tracking down the farmers.
Yes, that would make sense. That probably takes you quite a few hours to interview everybody, get their, detailed accounts. The farms are a little bit spread out, a lot of walking around and so on. So yeah.
All right. And then I guess at the end of the night, we'll go, or as it starts getting towards sunset, we'll go set up a stakeout at the spot at the flume.
All right, and that's where we'll pick up next time in 2 weeks. So we're skipping next week. But we will be back in 2 weeks. I believe it's next week we're skipping, right? That sounds right.
Yeah.
All right.
I start a new job next Monday.
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay! Woo!
Next Monday is my birthday.
Yay!
Yay.
Birth.
What's your new job?